Yo, Twitch, yo, almost said Twitter. Yo, YouTube with the shirt on. What a day, what a day. So I went to do some more work at my old apartment, and the landlord was all moved in, and he didn't bother to come over and say hi, and, like, I know I could have gone over and said hi, but you'd think that, like, since he's the landlord, and he's evicting me and the other two tenants, and I've been giving him how much money in total? Like 4 years. I've given him about $25,000 over the course of 4 years living at that gross, disgusting place. So you think like he could be like, "Oh, looks like Justin's cleaning up his apartment. Maybe I should go over and say hi." No. But yeah, 4 years, two property managers who did not do their job. The place probably should have been condemned and demolished. And I was going to go to the landlord tenant board and trying to get some reduced rent, but I got evicted. So, and I don't know if I have any recourse at this point. I don't know if he can like subsidize my rent at this place, but we'll see. Yeah, what a day. So like I went over there and he didn't even bother to say hi. He had like his front door open, his back door open. The back door shares a deck with my place. Just had like the deck covered full of his stuff. When I got there, like I didn't see anyone, I didn't hear anyone, I didn't know if they were there, but I didn't see any vehicles. And then when I left, I could hear them talking in there. It's okay to not be the person who always like goes and introduces yourself, but at the same time, like if someone had to introduce themselves to the other person and like it was just getting awkward and it needed to be done, I would go and do it, but like I'm normally quiet and reserved and there's nothing wrong with that, but people like shame. And let's talk about shame in just a second. I'm gonna get a drink. It's there. So Kingston is a great city, and I say that sarcastically. We have a lot of like mental health issues, drug problems, and the city is notorious for having bike thieves. Stealing is a regular thing, and I guess that's why people don't like me talking about thieves so much. Travis. He's the really only thief that I know about. Oh, well, there's Kalen Burke, which was the only other brother of Lifted Brothers who's actually like was weird because like we're a group of Canadians and like he has like Kalen in this video and then like it's just like him all the way until like up to like modern time up to now and a few videos with this other Jonathan guy but no videos where they're like, hey, welcome to Lifted Brothers, it's me Travis and blah blah blah. Like it's really weird to call yourself like a group of people and clearly just be posting you and like there's no group. It's just you. But yeah, people not liking. Guess Kingston is just the kind of city where it's worse to do. It's worse to talk about someone doing something bad than actually doing that bad thing. So, in other words, a lot of people in Kingston don't either have no morals or they don't have strong morals. And I would like to think that most Kingstonians aren't like that, but it's just people in positions of power and influence, not just like social influence, but like at the workplace and whatnot. They sort of perpetuate these norms where like it's more bad to talk about someone doing something wrong than actually person doing something wrong. And it's sort of like the United States and whistleblowers. Like they put like that law into effect or whatever to give whistleblowers protections, and then they had like Julian Assange. It's WikiLeaks. There's that other guy who is the leaker, the whistleblower about NSA. I can't think of his name. His life was ruined because he came forward and did the right thing. It's not just a Kingston thing, it's a problem with the whole world. But anyways, so like my day, after cleaning my place, cleaning my old place, getting my note from my doctors and coming home, I went to get some lunch and some milk from Shoppers Drug Mart. Noticed the cashier. I don't know if I have a mask to show you, but where is my oxygen mask? Oh, I think it's. I have no idea. Packed up on her. But she's wearing a mask, like on duty while working, and it's under her chin. Like, if the policy for them working isn't that it's that they don't have to wear it all the time, that's okay. But I was under the impression that it would probably be like at my job, where if you're out on the floor working, you have to keep it on. If you adjust it, for us, if we touch our mask, we have to go wash our hands. You couldn't just pull your mask down and continue on. You'd get in trouble. And yeah, I was out at Shoppers Drug Mart, and the cashier had that on her face, and I did not have the energy to like say something to her about it or talk to management about, which is really weird because people are like, "Oh, if you have the time to be mad on Reddit, you have the time to be productive about it." I was like, "What?" I wasn't even mad. I was just like, "This is really stupid." I just took a picture, and I didn't. I just like casually took a picture while I was using my phone, standing waiting in line, and you could see her. She was like blocked, but you could see the line like of her chin going down her mouth, and you could see the blue under her chin. You could clearly see. I say clearly, but if you look close enough, you could see that she wasn't wearing it, and I didn't want to like shove a camera in her face. I didn't want to be like, "Hey, why aren't you wearing a mask?" I didn't want to cause a scene with her. I didn't want to like ask the manager. I wasn't mad about it. I just thought it was really stupid, and I took a picture and I posted it, and then I completely forgot about it. I just went and got my food, came back, ate it, watched a movie, went to sleep, woke up, and it was all the nasty messages that I got on Reddit. Someone was just like, "You're a loser," and that's all they wrote, and they got upvoted. At least they had like 11 points. And someone commented, "It's just like, yeah, there's nothing we can do. You should just talk to management." And I was just kind of hoping, like, oh, maybe someone else noticed, and maybe someone else talked to management. And that person who's not being toxic and just being like, yeah, you should just talk to management, they got downvoted. So basically, that tells me Kingston. I think people don't want to take COVID seriously, and it's pretty bad on the second wave. We have all these tourists coming, like that cashier. who knows, she could have served a customer. And the plexiglass isn't perfect, so like you're supposed to have the plexiglass and the mask, and people are like, "Oh, she has a plexiglass in front of her, just let her be." It's like, okay, like people don't understand redundant systems. When you have redundant systems, like the plexiglass and the mask, you have both in case one fails. Like it'd be like how, like if you look at it from like an IT thing, it'd be like an administrator being like, well, why are we spending all this time and money on backups? Like our main copy of the data not once has anything wrong happened to it. Well, it's like people don't understand redundancy or insurance policy. But yeah, unfortunately, Kingston is a shitty city. Not 100%. It's just like it's hard to really compare it to other cities. Yes, babe. Well, I better in this litter. I heard the door creaking. That means you're actually using your litter box. Made a few home improvements. Well, I just made one. Yesterday, I took a little piece of cardboard and just put some tape on it to reinforce it, and I stuck it at the top of the door frame. So I have my front door and then a storage unit right next to it, and like the doors like swing out in the same direction. So as I'm leaving, I'll often bump the door, and it won't close completely, but Jasper's kind of useless. He can't get the door open when it's ajar. Even the bedroom, like I'll leave it like open, like all he has to do is like stick his head in and push it, or use his paw. He doesn't need to try. And I want the door closed as possible, just so that most of the cold air stays in the bedroom, running the air conditioning. But yeah, so it's like a little piece of cardboard there, so the door doesn't close all the way. And then even before I did that, I noticed the two metal doorknobs. Well, they're not knobs; they're handles. They were hitting each other, so I took two strips of Gorilla Tape and just ripped it into tiny little squares and just kept sticking square on square on square until it got a certain thickness. And now it's sort of like kind of like rubber ish, like it's just softer, like so it's the tape hitting the metal. It's a metal metal. Which I can smell some cigarette smoke. It's fine if my balcony is open, but when I first moved in here, I noticed like with it's hard to tell where it's coming from. Like I could pop my head outside, smell no smoke whatsoever. Pop my head out into the hallway, not smell anything, but just like sitting in the living room or even like laying in my bed, I could smell cigarette smoke. Laying in my bed was weird because like it had to be coming from the floor or the window, or maybe even if it was just I shouldn't say it had to be coming. It could have came through the air conditioner, which pulls in air from outside. But as soon as I smelt it, I got up and stuck my head in front of the air conditioner. It smelled perfectly clean, so it might have been like a split second, like a little puff came in through the air conditioner, made its way around the room, and then went in my fan and blew in my face. I don't know, it's hard to tell. We'll see what happens when it starts getting cold and I don't have to leave that door open. I'm smelling cigarettes. So yeah, I guess it's time for Apex Legends. But yeah, I guess I'm doing something right because I seem to be getting a lot of hate locally from the kind of people who don't want their misdeeds or the misdeeds of their friends to be spoken about. It's just really sad, and like, people like that do horrible things and then act like their victims are the bad people. Jake Mallon used to be the sous chef, and he was a head chef. Grizzly Grill. He was just the sous chef when I was there. Um, he, I won't get into too much game here, but he assaulted me. I was trying to leave his place, and he said something really offensive, and I turned around and I called him out on his shit. And yeah, like it could be like considered assault. Like, oh no, as far as the law would be concerned, I gave him a little bitch slap to the face. Like, there's no way that could have like actually hurt him or like made him like lose a tooth. Like, it was just a light little slap. It was just like, you're a bitch. Here's a bitch slap for you. And then I turned to walk away, and he got fucking pissed because him and all his friends like to do cocaine. Woohoo, psychotic. What the cocaine likes to do. And so he got fucking pissed, and then he's like, "Oh no, you don't!" And then he like charged me. My back was turned. He jumped on me, put me in a headlock. He tried to knock me out, but either my neck was too strong or he was too weak. But he didn't knock me out. He fucked up my Adam's apple, and it hurt to swallow. Like, I couldn't swallow without paying for a month or two, and even to this day, like once in a while, mostly when I'm laying on my side, I'll swallow and like something sort of catches, and it just feels extremely uncomfortable. And oh, and also a week before that, these actually are my spare glasses, and this is the pair. I had just got new lenses for these, and he destroyed them. And you should have seen them when I picked them off the pavement. Like, the one arm was like twisted this way, and this arm was twisted that way, and like the nose pieces was all like twist. I luckily am pretty good at like bending things back. Like, I always bend it so it fits my face. Like, I know like the glass places, they'll do that for you, but like I find like I can just do it a little bit better myself. And sometimes they'll like heat it up with a hair dryer. I've tried that. I find just like using brute strength. But yeah, so he fucking assaulted me, injured me. Um, Anyone who's like, "Oh, did you hit him back?" Like, defend yourself. If that's something you want to hear about, yes, I did. Once I got him off of me, I was like, I was like fighting for my life. So like, I threw him off of me and just punched him a few times in the face so that he couldn't jump on me again, trying to knock me out or snap my neck or whatever he was trying to do. But yeah, like mutual friends who were there, they didn't want to like take sides, but clearly like I was severely assaulted, and it was one mutual friend really. Speaking of cocaine, the guy who's got some really bad problems. It's really sad because he's sort of enabled by he's like almost 40 and he lives with his mom and blows all his money on partying and stuff. Whereas, like, it was my mom, she would have kicked me out. I know. I was wondering back in the day, like, if would I actually have just become an alcoholic? But you get like a kick in the butt from your parents, like, oh, you're just gonna waste your life away on like booze and drugs. Oh, can't live here rent free anymore. Not but yeah. So like, I was assaulted. The police didn't do anything. Um, Mutual friends didn't really seem to give a shit. I made posts about it. It's like, I'm a victim. I'm entitled to do it. And it was this weirdest fucking thing. I ran into the guy later on. He was like, "Why would you do that? Like, you fucked up my life." Like, people were messaging me. He's like, "What's going on? What did you do?" It's like, well, I didn't fuck up your life by letting the world know I was a victim, and your friends being like, "Well, why did you fucking do that? You fucked up your life by doing that." Like, I'm sorry, bud. That's the exact same thing the lady down in the lobby was saying. It's like, oh, the landlord who was, sorry, no, superintendent 32 years ago who was fired for stealing from tenants. He wanted to know who got him fired. I love that part. She's like, well, he got himself fired. Exactly. But this is just what the world's been slowly working towards. This is this candy coated um, emphasis on like appearance, and no one gives a shit about substance. It's how you look. It's not how you behave when no one's watching, which matters, and that's not a good thing. I got a litter box. I think I could smell it all the way from the other side of the apartment. Maybe it's just because he just used his litter box and walked out here and brought some stinky air with him. I'm talking about you, Josh. All right. I'm just gonna do that quick. Maybe light a candle and I'll hop into a match. So I'll get everything ready before I go do that. Mute my mic. I will switch my scene over. Shit. I will reconnect remote play. Grab my controller. Turn on my. I got so many things to do. Turn on my speakers. What the hell? Can you hear that? Okay. That's weird. So I turned on my speakers. I set it to my Bluetooth input. And my Bluetooth thing, which has no power, but is apparently giving this static. Ooh. Is it? This is. Hold on a second. This is really interesting. Is it? I got a lot of cables on here. Is it like some interference? This is the first time this has happened. Just a little cable. No, it's not near any other cable. Sounds like a Geiger counter. That's really bizarre. Okay, well let's give it power and see if that goes away. What the hell? As soon as I unplug it, this is the first time it's made this noise. It's ah, figured it out. Hold on a sec. It's the Nanoleaf. It's plugged into an input. Weird. It's the first time the Nanoleaf's ever done that. Interesting. I hope my Nanoleaf's not broken. Okay. I thought that was maybe interference, like maybe like the power cord was right next to the headphone jack wire. I call it a headphone wire because it wasn't a headphone jack. That's so incorrect. Okay, so let's get this show on the road, shall we? I should set up a chatty. I took 4 minutes to respond to a message yesterday or the day before or whatever, and unfortunately that was enough time. Important message. Yeah. So chatty, and then I need my sound server. I should probably buy the pro version at some time because it has like the Microsoft voice or whatever, it was the robotic voice saying like SoundWire server. And when I first used it, it didn't want to do that properly. It didn't work, and it was just like this weird, garbled, distorted noise. It sounded like a ghost or something. It's like, what's going on? My phone's possessed. But no, it was just an advertisement that wasn't working. Yeah, it's kind of whiff of your stinky litter box. Okay, so yeah, I got this connected. Make sure only music is going to Bluetooth. And then once I do this, I can make it a little louder. Okay, so I'm just going to throw on some tunes. Well, no, let's get this ready. And then I'll throw on some tunes. I'm going to play this connected. Make sure the PlayStation sound is making its way to you. Yes, it is. Okay, so here we go. And I was asking, like, I just had such a bad experience with the local subreddit. I popped over to Toronto subreddit. I was like, is this the kind of experience I would expect from Toronto? And people were like, no, we have really good moderators here. We wouldn't we wouldn't let people just call you a loser and get upvotes like that. That comment would be removed. You can't just call people losers. Like, would you have to be at least 13 to use Reddit? Like, very immature. Wow. The local radio station. I don't know if it's the Queens one or small radio station, but they're just like trying to get like discussion going about the Ontario government opening daycares, and people just like fuck that, downvote them. But yeah, it sucks when most cities would have a moderated subreddit that Kingston doesn't, and there's like some fucking creep who's like posting. He was commenting, and his comments were kind of weird. And then if you looked at his post history, um, I don't remember what he was posting, but it was really fucking creepy sexual shit. And then I'm like talking uh, like I'm trying to not, like get through to him, like kind of inappropriate. And it's just like, well, so what? There shouldn't be little kids on Reddit, and even if they know all about sex. And it's like, Yeah, yeah, like young teenagers, yeah, they are interested in about sex, and they probably know more about it than their parents would like to believe they know about it. But at the same time, like seeing some like 60-year-old man posting creepy sexual shit is not okay. Let me check Discord, see if Buddy's ever gonna play Apex. Gotta reinstall it on my phone. Never mind, we waste fucking time. I think he just wanted to be annoying. He didn't actually want to. He doesn't want to actually put any effort into actually playing. Yeah, not even gonna waste my time. So just gonna mute the mic, get some music going, and clean that litter box. And in a few minutes, I will hop into a match. Stay tuned. So when I was cleaning out that kitty litter, I just felt it's like I was just so tired. I don't even know if I want to play. So I'll play a match if I do well and feel good. I'll definitely have a drive to play. But if I don't do so well, don't be surprised. I just sign off and go watch a movie. I will say it outro. I won't just leave abruptly, but just to give you guys an idea of where I'm coming from. I'll check a few things out. That one person watching on YouTube before earlier today. Not now. Wonder if that was Travis. Be surprised. Trying to find other ways to make fun of me, like, oh, you're great content there, trying to buy a wireless router. What? I don't try to buy anything. I might think about buying something, and I buy things that are a little bit more interesting than wireless routers. Either he just wanted to come off like an idiot with success, or maybe he was going through my videos from 3 years ago, because I haven't bought a wireless router for 3 years. Yeah. Check. I want to go through my videos, see if there's any comments. I should get notifications for comments. So like yeah, I made that video. I noticed it must be getting to something. It must be getting to him because I got 3 downvotes. I don't know if that was from him and 2 of his friends or. But yeah, so like I did another video just to like shout out to this whoever downvoted that because. But I haven't gotten any downvotes on the video about the downvotes. Interesting. Oh, weird. It's saying I have a live viewer right now. Yeah, what up? It shouldn't be me. Um, 'Cause I didn't have a window open with a preview, but yeah, it's showing live viewers. Um, Interesting. Interesting. Got some popular. And popular. So, yeah, probably have that regular viewer on Twitch. Yeah. And then. Oh, YouTube went. Yep, down to 0. Only tuned in for a moment there. More likely than that it was someone who's like, oh, I'm gonna watch some Apex Legends. Oh, never mind, I'm leaving. I'm out of here. If they kept sticking around when like I did a test a while ago, like I just try to remember to turn on myself. But I did a test because like getting that regular viewer on Twitch was kind of crazy. Like there's always one viewer, and so I did a test. I just screamed nothing but black, no sound. The video was just black. And I did that for like 10 or 20 minutes, and that one It's either a bot or someone needing to sit there and watch the or they're recording. That's what someone needs to do. That really fucking weird. Because like I was just like following him and commenting on this shit to warn people about him, and he was all like, "Oh, you're just jealous because I'm popular in here." I'm like, okay. He's trying to like afford this idea that like I was just like big like stalking me. No, it's just like, oh, you're on the internet. It's like I don't even like, watch videos the entire time. Unless I'm like really bored. But nowadays it's just like, oh, is he still posting shit on my back? With the hack next thing I know, he'll probably find us next day. Like, I wouldn't put past them to be like recording. Like, what are you gonna do? Uh, recording live? Like, dig up some dirt on you? Anyways, let's get the show on the road. I do. I don't know why when I was just scooping at that litter, maybe it's just because it's such a shitty thing, shitty job to be doing. It's just like I just don't want to do anything. I just want to go watch TV, but now it's just like sitting in a chair. Weary about my volume though. At my last place, it was a great situation of sound because my unit was, I'm pretty sure it was added on to the house afterwards. So between my unit and the other units, there was probably this very thick outer wall of the original building, and then I'm pretty sure I could have my window open and the noise wouldn't be a problem. But just because my neighbors were obnoxious, I had to keep my main biggest window closest to the TV closed all the time. Still getting used to the sense. Few things earlier today. It sounded like certain noises were really quiet. It was just because they don't want to raw throughout. I don't want the gunshots to be ridiculous loud. At the same time, probably because it's a THX system. Seems like the range is a little bit too big, so you got these really loud gunshots, and then these little really quiet, hard to hear noises. It's like that for movies a lot. And it sucks for watching things late at night. So, and there's two sound modes on the PlayStation. There's Bitstream and Dolby linear PCM only. I don't know if we can do surround sound. The only way I can do surround sound for PCM is through HDMI. I don't have an HDMI input on the speakers. I just want to check. Dynamic Range Dolby versus DTS. Hmm. Hmm. So DTS is definitely better than Dolby because it has a lot more bandwidth. It's like 3 times the bandwidth. Yeah. And DTS now has HD audio. It's like 24.5 megabits per second for lossless 7.1 channel. But yeah, like for the regular 5.1 for Dolby, it's 640 kilobits per second, and then DTS is 1.5. So I'm wondering if Dolby would have less of a range and be better at night. I need a good article that tells me about the dynamic range. So I might actually switch it over to Dolby. You know, I would be able to hear the quieter noises better. Hmm. Hmm. Let's try to see if my just want to see what my sound system would do. There's a little light that says decode when it's getting a digital audio signal, like a surround sound one. And then if it's getting a stereo one, that light goes blank, and then there's 3 lights that are stereo for the different modes it has. But yeah, just went dark and then just flickered. It flicked really fast once I switched. Yeah, try that. Um, just want to see if I can find any post specific to the 2 things in PlayStation 4 and seeing like which one's better for like late in the game. Could make a post on Reddit. Kind of turned off from Reddit. Hold on, I want to just watch this real quick. How to stop the music playing on my phone that's not even outputting to speakers? Still muted. Let's watch this together, and then I'll hop into the game. I don't hear anything. Oh. Oh, it'll be nice once I get the sound sorted out for the Wii U and I'll the Switch, and I won't have to keep switching it back and forth. And so you can hear. There we go.
I'm worried about them locking things down. Someone's gonna step in and stop them from doing it.
And my phone's it's the the thing for chatty. Okay. I'm just gonna refresh this. It'll go back to the timestamp.
Like I'm worried about a second wave of the corona. I'm worried.
What's this? Are they smoking cigarettes?
Like, locking things down. Someone's got to step in and stop them from doing that. Next wave, you guys got to be proactive. You got to do something about people's immune systems. You got to lock down old people and sick people. Let regular people do whatever the fuck they want. You can't just lock people's freedom down for something that killed a small fraction of what you thought it was going to kill. The whole thing is.
Yeah. Is that cigarette smoke? Ugh. I would not want to be in that room with them while they pop. It must smell like shit.
It's just fucking creepy to have guys like Mayor Garcetti be in charge of telling people whether or not they get to work. Like, that's not what a governor's supposed to be. That's not what a mayor's supposed to be.
But they're trying to look out for your best interests and trying to get.
This guy Bill Burr. I'm trying to figure out who's who. Yeah. Comedian. What's he been in? Got that? I recognize the face. I remember his character now.
400 million people.
Oh, shit! Fuck. Sorry.
Like
I'm worried about a second wave of the corona. I'm worried about them locking things down. You can't just. It's governor's supposed to be. That's not what they're supposed to be.
But they're trying to look out for your best interests and trying to get 400 million people to all pull in the same direction.
Look at the smoke. Look. Who's smoking? Like, someone was smoking while Joe Rogan was talking. Now someone is smoking while, I don't know if they're just taking turns smoking when they're not talking. It's really gross just seeing the smoke billow in.
It's fucking. You can't get 40 comics to pull in the same direction. So like they had like an impossible. They did and they didn't. There was people fucking right the whole fucking time. There's been fucking assholes on my street walking around no masks. You know, not quarantining like the people that come by the houses. You see the fucking, the same people that were going in and out of the house who are not part of their family still going in and out of the house.
You want people to walk down the street with a mask on?
Let's not start this, Joe.
Do you?
Here we go. It's like, you want people? Ooh, we got a very, very two, like, coming from different directions here.
Let's not start this. Okay.
Let's start it.
I don't want to start this bullshit. I'm not going to sit here with no medical degree, listening to you with no medical degree.
Oh yeah, they're just taking turns smoking while the other person is smoking cigarettes. Cigarettes are gross enough.
With an American flag behind you, smoking a cigar, acting like we know what's up, better than the CDC. All I do is I watch the news once every 2 weeks. I'm like, mask or no mask? Still mask? All right, mask. That's all I give a fuck about. I don't care.
But even they say you shouldn't wear a mask unless you're treating a coronavirus patient. The World Health Organization.
Yeah, but they didn't say that initially. They didn't say it initially.
No, they didn't.
They did, and then it gradually, and then everybody wore the fucking masks. This is like rollerblading. Everybody fucking rollerbladed, and then there was that one fucking homophobic joke, and then everybody acted like they never did it. And then 100 million fucking rollerblades got thrown into the fucking ocean. We all wore masks, and then all of a sudden, people are fucking sitting there. What? You don't have the body type for it, dude. Your fucking knuckles would scrape on the ground.
It's very blunt and crude, but I really like Bill Burr. I really like his personality, where he's kind of calling out people. Yeah, I remember rollerblading, but is that why people stopped rollerblading? Like, huh? Homophobes.
Even with that extra 2 inches. I I just love how wearing a mask became like this fucking like soft thing that you were doing, like being courteous. Being courteous. Why is it for bitches? That was so stupid.
Being courteous is for bitches? Okay. I see.
First of all, it's
Oh
not-
God, you're so tough with your fucking open nose and throat, Chicho, and your 5 o'clock shadow. This is a man right here. A man doesn't wear a mask. Why does it always become?
They're like blowing smoke at each other. Maybe they should be both wearing.
Like that. It's always like the man
This is what
versus the
men do.
bitch.
That's what men do. We make fun of things. Anything that seems like you're not taking chances.
Ugh. I bumped it up to 1080p, but it doesn't look that much better. It looks like it might be a 720p camera.
Right? That's
I
what
don't
taking a
have
mask
a
is.
problem with that unless you were already wearing the mask and then you're acting like you didn't. Then all of a sudden people watch your thing and then they all pile up. Oh, this bitch wearing the mask. It's like, you were fucking doing it 2 weeks ago.
Well, I was scared out of my mind in the beginning.
Okay, so he was scared out of his mind, so he was wearing a mask, but the mask is for everyone else. I hope what does Bill Burr like tells him this.
Beginning?
So what's his name? Joe Rogan is all acting like you're a loser if you wear a mask, but 2 weeks ago he was wearing them just because he was afraid for himself, but like a fucking idiot. Doesn't realize it's not for him, it's to be courteous to others. So when you breathe and talk and cough, your spittle doesn't get on everybody. I was scared, so that's why I wore the mask. Oh, Joe Rogan.
Like when everybody's shutting down in the beginning and people are stockpiling food, I was convinced. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Dude, you have like 9 elk in your basement. You were the one person I knew was fine. Tom Pop is making bread. I knew he was
That's not what I was
fine.
worried about. I was worried about people I knew getting really sick and dying. And then I was convinced that I had it. At one point in time, I was like, God, I do feel like I'm breathing it.
Okay, I take that back. Like he's actually he's part of the way there. Like he's concerned about people he knew dying. So he was wearing the mask for the right reason. But it just stops there. He doesn't care about people he doesn't know dying.
Heavy. I felt like my breath is my breath is coming short. I did. Like I had like psychosomatic
Now
issues
who's the
thinking
bitch,
about
Joe?
it. I
Now
got
who's
over
the
it though.
bitch?
I got over it.
Guy had a fucking panic attack sitting on fucking 12 elk. You had a fucking panic attack, and then you felt bad about yourself, and then you attack people with masks. That's how it works. And that's
Yeah. Oh.
how the hatred starts, and that's right now why 7 blocks of Seattle you can't go now. You get yourself.
I'm gonna go and I'm gonna drop off free food for those folks, those fine protesters.
Joe, there's a major American city where 7 blocks the people have took over it, and I had no idea what you were talking about. So just anything that I don't watch it
I envy you.
at all.
Okay. Bill Burr's not actually, or Bill Burr's a good guy, but Joe Rogan is. I didn't notice his name going around. I thought like he might be like what's that InfoWars guy? I thought like he might be that kind, but he's actually seems like a reasonable conservative. Like he was wearing the mask. He wasn't like, oh, I'm wearing the mask because I'm afraid for myself. And he wants to go give food to protesters. I don't know if he like is looking for people protesting the lockdown or if he's talking about people protesting Black Lives Matter. Hope is the latter. But yeah, that was hilarious. But I didn't. I was expecting Joe Rogan to be more of an idiot. But like I have no real experience. I don't really watch him that much. Know virtually nothing about him. So it is now 11:30. Can't be too loud. Hopefully my audio setting there squished my dynamic range down a little bit, so gunshots won't be as loud compared to the quiet noises. We'll find out and see if there's a difference. I'm going to probably put out that candle in the storage room. Save the wax for later. I'm just gonna grab a quick drink, maybe go into the little boy's room, and then I'll hop into a match. And depending on how well I do, see how many more games I want to play. I don't see myself playing 10 games tonight, but if I get 6 kills, that I'll work towards these. Got 6 days, 13 hours. First, though, I will come and do this. Basically, just go in. It's a story quest, but it's basically go into an area of the map, fight those four-legged beast things, recover an artifact, and run away. And I am sort of like trash talking, being like, "Oh, they're all the same." I take that back. Enter the Revenants. Okay, so there, high octane. Octane is like there before you, so there's jump pads all over the place. So they are a little bit different. Enter the Revenants. You actually had to destroy some totems, doing that like weird death thing. That I don't know. You have to do that first, and then you get to go find the artifact. So they're slightly different, but they all pretty much boil down to the same thing. You go in, fight a bunch of monster dogs or wolves or lions, and then you get something and you get out of there. So I'm just gonna mute the mic. Well, I gotta switch the sound over here. Speakers are default device. Ooh, that's good. Switched over. This is just really. Oh yeah, it's just really. Okay. So I won't take too long because my PlayStation sounds like a jet trying to take off. It's actually slowing down. That's good. The fan is slowing down. What? That's really weird. Started getting some cold air from inside. Why is that? So, I should be complaining, but like, it just doesn't make any sense. There's no frame. Wait. Oh. Is it really a frame rate limiter issue? Or is it just going crazy preloading stuff for the match? I wonder. So it might be the CPU causing all that heat, not the GPU. And maybe it's a little bit of both. Maybe this, where we are right now, there could be a frame rate limiter, and the fan could like barely be running, but they're too lazy to do the frame rate limiter, and maybe it's just faster than it's louder and faster the fan than it is now. Maybe my first pop the thing after it popped out. Oh, anyways, I will stop ranting and start. There's just been like a steady, strong smell of smoke. I feel like someone's got off work without people, just smoking nonstop.
to do beautiful things together. I've got everything you need.
It's time. Sarkazan.
Introducing your champion. A fool and their treasure. I like this spot. Heard that. Better find me before I find you.
I'll try to keep us under the radar.
Going to take a peek over there. There's someone over there. Attention. First blood already. That's what happens when you get too excited.
Havoc here.
Attention. There is a new kill leader. Optics here. Close range.
Prowler SMG here. Ultimate accelerant.
Sniper stock here. Level 3.
Level 2.
Thieves.
Sniper stock here. Level 3.
Attention. Hop up here. Precision choke.
Body
Shotgun
shield
bolt
here.
here. Level 3.
Standard stock here. Level 2.
I need optics for an assault rifle.
Activating jump drive. We've got a long way to go and a minute to do it. Let's go. Thanks, beautiful.
I need an extended heavy mag.
45 seconds until the ring closes. We've got a hike, and optics here. Sniper.
R99 here. Barrel stabilizer here. Backpack here.
Let's see what we have over here. Thanks, beautiful. Lovely idea. I bet we'll find something good here. Time's up and we're not in the ring. Move now. Anyone up for some shopping?
Eyes on the map.
Optics here. Sniper. Mama's got a brand new bag.
Care package being delivered. Care package coming in.
I bet there's some good loot over there. Thief's intuition. Jump drive out! Let's see what... Shotgun bolt. Standard stock here. Level 2. Jump drive set. Open up shop and shut them down. Mama's got you now. Helmet here. Level 3. Activating jump drive. Let's go. Extended heavy mag here. Level 2.
Backpack here. Level 2.
Let's go here.
Okay.
Taking fire. Jump drive activated. Recharging shields. We've got 30 seconds to be somewhere else if we don't want to get cooked.
Need to recharge my shields.
Come with me. Over here.
10 seconds to the ring. It's close at least.
Black market here. In the mood for some shopping? I bet we'll find something good here. We're all outside the ring, and a wall of death is coming our way. Let's see what we have over here.
Attention. Delivery care package. That was the last one. Nice work.
Ooh, care package on the way. I like the sound of that.
Healing up. Eyes are open though.
Jump right in position. Healing. Shops open, boys and girls.
좋아. There goes hot gas.
Don't mind if I...
Enemy is over there. 쟤는 못 봤겠지.
Lovely idea.
Located care package over there. Backing out of my drone.
Yes.
I'm good to go. I'm recalling my
Copy
drone.
Extended supply bin over there. We haven't won yet. Better finish off those last two squads. Drone drive set. I see someone over there.
Follow the tunnel.
I see an enemy over there.
60 seconds left. The ring's
Portal's ready. Ring touching.
the overseas.
Over there.
Lovely idea. Devotion here. Isn't she lovely?
I'm back. Logged off my drone.
Dims.
Mastiff shotgun here. I need light ammo.
Light ammo here.
Aren't you sweet? Thank you.
Don't mention
Let's go here.
Heavy ammo here. Heavy ammo here.
좋아. We're already in the ring.
Let's do some shopping.
Come on.
Care package coming in.
Mama's got a brand new bag.
Better stabilizer here. Level 4.
Thank you. Barrel
Don't mention
stabilizer.
Thanks, beautiful.
Level 3.
Barrel stabilizer here. Level 2.
가라. 스컬 필스.
Ring countdown.
Peacekeeper weapon located. Yeah, backpack here. Level 3.
wonder what they found.
Less than 30 seconds. Rings nearby.
Let's see what we have over here. I bet we'll find something good here. I bet we'll find something good here.
I'm back.
Heard that.
Logged off my drone.
Tossing jump drive. Enemy over there.
My drone has been destroyed.
Recharging my shields. Shop's open for business.
Apex Champions. Underestimate me and pay the price. All right, eyes peeled. I've got a piece to find.
tonight. Recharging shields. Recharging my shields.
Well, that was my first time needing a retry. It's fun. A little hard too, holy crap. She did not just call Pathfinder and fly in. I don't like Loeb anymore. That's what she gets if she was honest and truthful and not manipulative. She might have had allies. It's weird that this is called the occipital hub because I actually looked it up what occipital means, and it's actually the back of your skull. And it's basically this robot head's jaw or its mouth. So it's at the bottom of the skull, like the occipital part of the brain or skull or whatever. Like both parts, both skull and brain have occipitals. At the bottom, yes, but at the back, not the front. So it's interesting that they chose to name that occipital hub. I have a feeling that like they're just like, oh, let's just use this random cool sounding word that has something to do with the head, and they didn't even take the time to be like, oh, well, that's what part of the head is. Like, I would have called it the something to do like maybe there's some part of the jaw that has a cool name like occipital. I don't know. I'd have to look up parts of the skull. But it's kind of a little kind of strange if like I had to look it up. Like a medical student or a doctor playing the game, I'd be like, why is it occipital? Shit. So I only got 1 of 6 kills. That was a really good round though for in the storm. It's already 12:30, so I think I might just call it a night and watch some movies. I'm definitely not gonna get the 12 game. I'm probably not gonna get the 6 kills, but I'm not gonna get 5 kills in the next one. I highly doubt it because I'm like 1, so hopefully. Sorry, not hopefully. Like, yeah, since I've rolled 1 on my competition normal should be a challenge. Sometimes they might not be having the greatest day, or maybe they're letting some that way, like I can stream and play tomorrow once like everybody's awake, and I want to be a respectful neighbor. I know what it was like being on the other end of like noise harassment, like obnoxious neighbor shit. So you never want to be that kind of neighbor. And even like before, like I experienced that with multiple neighbors, it wasn't something that I want to do. Like my first apartment, like when I just started college, like I think we might have got a noise complaint. If not there, definitely at like someone else's place for like a party or whatever. I've definitely seen like a noise complaint, and I'm just like, it feels so bad. Like I didn't have to experience the other side of it to feel bad about it. I just want to be a good neighbor. I guess that makes me a loser. I'm a loser because I'd wear a mask. I haven't been wearing a mask since my glasses. I'm riding my bike around most of the times. I don't know, I just have this thing, I don't want to touch the mask. Like, if I wear a mask, I don't want to put it on, keep it on, try not to adjust it, just because that's what I'm used to. That's what the policy is at my job. So, I actually like my job and take my job seriously, so I just thought, like, it would make sense to me to follow the policy I have. If I can't follow it, like, I don't even know where I have a washable mask, but when I do need a mask, I don't remember what. But I always try to stay 2 meters away from people. If I have to pass someone, I don't breathe. I hold my breath. I think that's pretty good because it's the whole breathing and coughing and sneezing and whatnot that is why you're wearing a mask. So, like, if I'm in a store buying groceries or whatever and I have to pass someone in an aisle, I hold my breath. Like, and I always stay 2 meters away, and I find it really annoying. Like, some people literally like walk like almost like brush past me. It's like, you're not even getting close to 2 meters. Like, you should not be brushing past me, especially not wearing masks. Another thing I don't like is like people who wear a mask and they're like, oh, I don't have to be 2 meters away from people. They have, it's very easy for them to stay 2 meters away. The mask is for everyone else's benefit. If you're wearing a mask and you're like brushing up against people and letting people breathe on you and cough on you, you're gonna catch COVID and you might spread it through other means than breathing on other people. And yes, especially in Kingston, like the statistics and the odds getting it are low, but just don't take a chance. Okay? Even if the odds are low, if they're above zero, it's going to happen to somebody, and it might happen to you. So just play it safe. Anything interesting going on? Oh my god. 75-year-old Buffalo protest. Oh my god, is that the guy who got pushed backwards? Doesn't matter if it's him or someone else, it's horrible. It says they're unable to walk and has a cracked skull. What's going on in infosphere, the interwebs? Why do I lose subscribers when I post new content? Because, I don't know, like, people people subscribe and they're like, oh wait, I actually don't want to subscribe. This guy used to be friends with. He's worried he's gonna drop down below 1,000. Yeah, for a lot of some. He always used to be a dick. One of his friends that I was friends with for a while, and they were also very snobbish and assholes. I really only started spending time with him because he was gay. He had very nice. He's a nurse. He's just like an awesome guy. Maybe I should like reach out to him. I really only hung out with a guy I knew longer. It's kind of nice. Really fun to hang out with. And I felt like it brought out the best guy I knew, and that wasn't really a nice. I thought like the nurse he was dating was really good. So I had a falling out with the guy I knew for a long time, even though like I feel bad, but the nurse boyfriend and that. Maybe got so bad he didn't take sides in the whole thing and just like went my different ways. But yeah, so this was around the time I was graduating MBA. So I was looking for like a Bachelor of Business Administration. Most of my jobs in fast food, and then some retail like Zellers, Don Brand. One place I worked at 2 weeks. I did customer service on phones at StarTech. I wanted to be. I'm just gonna put my. Oh no, I won't put to sleep. That's good. It's out in the lobby, so rest a little bit. But yeah, so like I had my BBA degree, and I really wanted to get into administration, like working in like an office, or like working at the admin side of like school, or like HR for like big business or something. And so this guy who was always a prick, but I was hanging out with him a lot because his boyfriend was a cool guy. He was a personal support worker before that. I don't know if he went to school for anything else. He was just a Bell salesperson, and he was obsessed with BlackBerry, and like he was like a representative for BlackBerry. And I think it's just because he was so pushy about it. And he was like, I don't know if he still uses BlackBerry. Even as BlackBerry is like dying off, like they finally switched over to Android. He's like, I don't like it. But yeah, so he wasn't a personal support worker for very long until he started his own business. It's just basically an agency for personal support worker, like with no office. But like he was trying to set everything up and like do the logistics of it. And he really could have used my help with making like stupid mistakes with personal bank accounts. And then because of the volume and amount, like the size of the transactions, he got a hold put on his account. I think he had multiple accounts, but like he had access to enough cash, like for spending money for the time being. Kind of a loser about it. Like he's really sarcastic. It's like, oh, I feel so bad. Like they have to wait. At least I don't have to wait. smiling about it, like saying, pretending to feel bad. Like, really, come on, man. And I don't know if he still goes out and works alongside his workers and has his own clients, or if he just sits back and administrates the whole thing. But it was kind of like addictive because, like, at the time, I think he still had like a client or two that he was doing most of the business being done by his other workers, and he paid himself first out of the way because there's a whole thing. But anyways, we were like talking back and forth, and it sounded like I had a chance at like helping him out, being like an assistant or like office admin or something, doing set up things, and like his boyfriend was like, "Yeah, that's a great idea," and like really positive, and like I was like feeling really good about it. And then one day, this is probably the last time I ever hung out with him. I went over, and the guy who I knew for a long time, kind of a dick, he's just like on his computer, and like he found this like suite that you buy, and it's all like web based, and it could basically do like everything that I was going to help him out with, and like he just completely didn't seem to grasp like that was like it was kind of shitty for me. He didn't grasp it, or if he did, he didn't care. And yeah, like I think he like invited me over to hang out, and like I was just like sitting on the couch, like he wasn't even like really talking to me. He was kind of like acting like I wasn't even there, and I think it's because like at least deep down somewhere, maybe not consciously, maybe he did feel a little bad about the whole, oh yeah, like great job opportunity, like we're friends, like they knew like I knew my stuff, and like I'm a hard worker and I'm super professional. Yeah, so in our different ways, but like I just like checked in to see how he's doing, and like there was I guess bad timing because like some of the shit he was posting, it's just like really. So he's a self-proclaimed influencer. On Twitter, he's one of those people who does like the follow for follow thing, and he actually follows like 7,000 people, and that's like only 6,000 people following him or something. He gets a very small amount of his followers interact. That's what happens because there's all these other Twitter accounts where they do the exact same thing, and like, oh, it's a somewhat bigger account. They have like 7,000 followers, but like probably only like 100 or 200 people actually read and interact with his feed. But yeah, like the most frustrating thing was like just knowing like how he was just started his business, and then seeing one tweet that really bothered me where he was just like mocking and laughing about how his staff was complaining about him being on social media too much. And his response was like, "What are they talking about? I rarely post to YouTube." And it's like, dude, you just go through your Twitter feed, like before I started chirping him and stuff, he'd be tweeting probably like 100 tweets a day. And then he like recently made this like fake fireplace thing, and it like took him like 10 days, and I'm just thinking like, be like working on that like all day for 10 days, like while your staff's at earning your paycheck. I hope I'm wrong. Like I hope he works like just as much, if not almost as much as they do it. I can just imagine. But I know what other businesses are like small businesses, not the greatest owners. Like unfortunately, they exist, and there's owners out there who like they show up like they wouldn't even show up every day, and when they do show up, they just like hang around, like they don't even like. I'm thinking, particularly the merchant. As far as I know, like he had the manager who did like all the day-to-day stuff for out front. His brother did all the kitchen stuff and the accounting, and he'd just like show up and like be in his office, like watching like demos from musicians, like making fun of like bands that weren't these kind of people that aren't the greatest. Like I go through like stuff like that and like pick out the best stuff, and like I'd feel bad and be like, I feel bad, like you suck, but I don't know, I just feel bad. And then you can tell like some people feel bad. Maybe like you want to like let them down like softly, but like maybe being a musician isn't for you. And then other people you can tell like they revel in making fun of people. It's kind of sad. A lot of people like that anymore. But anyways, it's 10 to 1 and I've just been ranting, so I call it a night. Anyways, I'm gonna sign off. Nothing in well, we can check out Donald Trump. Oh God, there's probably nothing interesting on his Twitter feed, so I know what's up with Donald Trump. So he's doing an executive order about police reform, but it's all like hot air. Like I saw, like I didn't watch the whole speech or whatever it's his, but saw excerpts of it, and he's like saying he's like the American people want yada yada, even if they don't know it, they want it, and he wasn't saying like they want like crackdown on police brutality. He is saying Americans want the police to like catch more murderers and be like they want like he wants them or saying the American people just are saying like the crime rate or the arrest rate or whatever the arrest rate's too low or something. They want a higher arrest rate. It's like and it's just the way he worded it. Like it didn't seem like he wanted them to be um, wrong less. Like it doesn't seem like he wants them to make less incorrect. Oh, be like, oh, we thought you were someone else, so we used excessive force. We thought you were super dangerous. I don't know. And I guess part of the problem with his executive order is like two more things that I took away from that video. So his executive order has like nothing to do with race. So like this new like thing to help improve the police with I think with more oversight and some sort of like rewards for like doing well. It's so it has nothing to do with race. Like they're not gonna prioritize problems where like it's racial profiling, you know, all of that. So yeah, and then sorry, I'm just getting sleepy. Let's see it. There's last thing. There's no race. Oh yeah. So the last thing is he's making it illegal to do chokeholds or something. Like I think that like counts like knee on the neck or like arm around the throat, like cutting off circulation, whatever. But the Young Turks, that's who made the video I was watching, they had a very good point. It's already illegal, and I don't know if it's a lot of places, but I think they use like New York or somewhere big, some big city as like an example, where even though it was illegal for them to use chokeholds, so I think someone died recently of a chokehold. So Trump's just blowing hot air. I hope he does not win the next election. Anyways, so I'm nearing my 2-hour 30-minute mark. It is now 6 minutes to 1. It's officially Thursday. Or sorry, Wednesday. So today, I got tomorrow or whatever you want to call it in the morning. I have to flip my wheels on my bike because my rear wheel is wearing down a lot. I don't know if that's the brake I use the most, the rear wheel, or if it's just because that's where that's the driving part of my bike, pushing the asphalt, whereas the front one's just sort of rolling along the asphalt. So I gotta switch those out, and hopefully it's not gonna be a problem. Hopefully I don't start sliding around corners or stuff. But yeah, I'm eventually gonna have to get new wheels, tires, or the wheels. So I get new switch tires. Get new tires eventually. I'm gonna get thinner ones, so I will be able to get back to going a little bit faster and have better cruising speeds on my bike because I have hybrid tires right now. They're a little bit wider. They actually have threads or treads or whatever treads. And I normally go for the slick tires. Do that eventually. But I don't think I can go anywhere tomorrow. I was thinking maybe vacuum cleaner to my old place. Bring some totes here and empty totes. I have a couple empty totes here. Take them over there and empty a couple ones that I bring over here real quick. They should be easy to pack like this. And then just pillows and blankets, like they're so light. It's really easy to do. Give me more totes to work with this left. Then I'll have the vacuum cleaner there. There is a fly on my screen's closed. I don't know why I have my glass window. Oh yeah. This so the air could come in, but I thought maybe if my door was half open or 3/4 open, or 1/4 open, might block a little bit more. But yeah, so tires. Should have a parcel arriving tomorrow. It's not final part from my Switch though. So I just want to check. I have to. I've got rid of a lot of apps on my phone just because of Tim Hortons app, like tracking you all the time when It's not in use, and I'm pretty sure like all the other apps do. But I don't have Android 10 yet, so I can't block tracking in the background. So I see what I'm still waiting for. I got the splitter, so I still need the the other things on eBay. So I need the HDMI Dolby DTS PCM 5.1 to optical digital audio converter. Yes, that's right. So HDMI in, and then to optical. Oh yeah, but that's not it. It's not just to optical. It also has the same like 3.5 millimeter jacks that like speaker has, computer has. So I'm gonna use SPDIF just optical audio on my computer, and then use the computer connection for this little box. I'm gonna show it to you. I'm waiting for that. Need that for my sound setup for the Switch. I did buy it, right? Why isn't it on my watch list? Shit. Oh. Sorry. Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, you nothing to wow. You guys seen the tracking now? Yeah, it's coming from LA. Won't get here till the end of July. Sucks. Oh well, that's the latest it could get here. Anytime in July, basically. I doubt it'll get here the last couple of days of June. And then I'm waiting for HDMI capture thing. Cigarette smoke. See if there's any information. There you go. Ooh, I might get here soon. If it's in Mississauga, that's like close to Toronto. Why is this saying we miss you? That's really weird. It's like a clingy website. Oh my god. But yeah, it's already come from China. Yeah. So this might actually arrive this week or maybe next week. What's the really? And it's expected 24th to wow. It might be here soon, unless if it just sits in Mississauga for a month. Yeah, so that'll be my Switch setup, and I'm really happy with the case, both the carrying case and the protective case. Very nice. Look forward to getting some use out of it. The it's clear in my case. It's clear, but it's like black. It's like tinted, and just like seeing the screen, my computer screen, the light bounce off of it. It's all like rainbow colors, like it's like polarized. pop on my Switch for a second before I end the screen. Downloaded update data for what? Oh my god, it sounds like Mario. I love it. That's not gonna show me update what it updated. It's just news. It's like games are on sale. Sale. Pokemon. We're gonna get the online play. You're currently not online. Games with petable companions. There's the Elder Scrolls Blade is really cool. I'm not sure if it's like a full featured game or what it's about. Oof. What's this? Oh, it's instruction right there. Setting the tabletop mode. Apparently, I guess it's very common for people to pop out the stand and leave it sticking out and then shove it in the dock and have. I think it can pop out. Pop back in. Yeah, but apparently it weakens it. And it's also the cover for the micro SD slot. It has this very solid sounding click when you click. Anyways, I'm gonna go watch a movie and then get sacked and then stream some more. And then yeah, so tomorrow I'm mostly going to focus my efforts on my apartment here. I'm not gonna worry about picking up anything tomorrow. And part of that's because I haven't been wearing sunscreen, but I haven't been out that much, but like a half hour, an hour a day. That's starting to add up. Like, I was starting to get a t-shirt tan, so I made an effort to wear sleeveless shirts to do that a little bit. Now I just have a tan line up my shoulder. I was thinking maybe laying out in the sun with like no shirt on my balcony. It's kind of cool that I have that now. I can do that. I feel more comfortable doing it there than I would like on the deck at my old apartment, even if I didn't have the shitty neighbor with the obnoxious. No offense, like I don't blame the kids for being loud and obnoxious. I think they just needed better guidance. And you could just tell that like the mother didn't give a shit. Like I'd complain about her kids being noisy mostly, and then like she'd yell at her kids where the noise was an issue and be like, they can be like a burst of noise for like 10 seconds and then that's it. Like I can't go back to sleep. Like, and like I'd be working like midnights, need to sleep during the day. But she'd be like yelling at her kids where the noise was an issue. Like, you don't yell at your kids when they're being loud. Like that's sending conflicting signals to their brains. Like, mom's telling me I can't be loud, but she's being loud. So is it really that much of an issue? I don't know. And I'm just gonna I should put it to sleep and then slide it back. Fortnite. What's an album? Does it? Oh, it's the screenshots, right? The videos. For a second, I was like, does it have a camera? Because I know like I don't know about the DS. Did the DS have a camera? I know the 3DS have a camera. I still got my 3DS. This is a 720p screen, right? It looks very crisp, and it's funny because my phone. I used to have was it a 4K screen in the S6 Edge? S6. No, it's 14. What's yes, 4K is like 21 something for the height. But what is it? Is it 1080p? Oh yeah, yeah. So it was funny because like my S6 Edge was my first device that was higher resolution than 1080p, and it was my smallest screen. And then of course my A5 2017, it's still 1080p, and it's smaller than this screen, and this screen's big, and it's only 720p as far as I know. It's very nice. Just to sleep. Try and get to bed by 2. But yeah, like I got some more organizing to do. I got some junk on this coffee table that I need to tidy up. I need to go through my linens. I need to go through my clothes. There's a lot of stuff I don't need. Here. For a second, it smelled like freshly cut grass, but no one's mowing the grass. Yeah, this case that I got for the Switch. Oh, hold on a second. It bugs me because I just put it in and then the screen lights up. But it's supposed to be docking. It's supposed to. Okay, good. So I guess it'll like screen will light up and show a charge thing even when it's docking. Got this case specifically because it works with docking, and there's a lot of cases that might even say like dockable in the name. But if you go through the comments, like half the comments say it works, and the other ones say no, it doesn't actually work. I tried to avoid cases. Don't want to have to take it off every time I'm going to throw it in the dock. So it takes away from the whole switch aspect. But yeah, it's a sweet case. It has these grips in the 4 corners, so it actually helps you hold the Joy-Cons when you're just playing with one Joy-Con on its side. Anyways, I said I was gonna end. I should end the stream and go watch a movie, and then like, oh, I just saw this cool technology stuff to talk about. Donald Trump, 96 approval rating in the Republican Party. Thank you. Dear God. Maybe wake up tomorrow morning. Maybe the world will just be slightly less crazy than I highly did. So, maybe the calm before the storm. Never know what could happen tomorrow. Anyways, have a